everyone, how's it going? Just thought I'd jump on here. I haven't been on here over here for a while. I've been over Instagram doing some things, and I've just driven back from the city, so I do look a bit tired, but I want to just pull in where it's quiet, and it's such a warm day here today. So I wanted to share a few things about the energies and just the last couple of months. And while they've been powerful, haven't they? They really have been powerful. I wanted to just come on over here on my YouTube channel and share some things. So I think in the last couple I've been sharing for a few months now, I've been explaining what I've been going through at different times. And it intensified, absolutely, but in a good way, in that anything that and you might be finding this too, anything that came to the surface that I still tried to default to an old pattern or an old programming in how I would respond or react to that. It was like spirit wasn't having it. It was like, nah, it's like, that's not going to work. So the energies at the moment, what we're really doing is we are collapsing our second, third and fourth density parts together, so that we are moving into the 5D realm and higher, so that higher consciousness realm. So whether you refer to them as like those dimensions like that, like second, third, fourth dimension, fifth dimension and so on, or just the higher dimensions, the higher frequency, higher consciousness, however you refer to it. But that's what's happening at the moment. And what's also happening is that where we have fragmented our soul in those areas of our lives through trauma, and not only this life, it could be past lives as well. So where we fragmented our soul, and those parts of our soul are merging back together, and some of those parts won't be healed. So some of them will have to, as you move through the timeline of merging them back together, you will feel that you'll have to actually, transmute that. So some parts of your soul that will come back in, it's going to be bringing up these older programmed energies, lower consciousness, trauma, everything. I won't get into it all in terms of, what I'm talking about. So anything that we've had in this life, from young and in past lives as well. So it is a time that all the parts and fragments of our soul are coming back together. And so we obviously, there's parts of us that we've healed and parts that people haven't healed, and so we're actually moving through those, walking through those timelines to be able to merge them together. And this is why there has also been a lot of, apart from the external chaos going on in the world, a lot of chaos with people. Just, I don't know if you've found with people around you, but I've seen it too, and they just can't cope with, because they won't do the work, and things are hitting them in the face, things are coming up, like, where did that come from, things that, were really traumatizing them from birth, or, from young, and they've come back again, coming up again. Sorry, I'm losing my words because I've just driven back and I'm a little bit, but so I just wanted to share that, because what I'm seeing with some people around me is that those that knew they were there, those traumas, and knew that, that might have said, oh, look, I've just got so much trauma from childhood or whatever, I'm not going there, and things like that. That's not able to happen anymore. These energies are not supporting that anymore. They're not supporting that resistance. They're not supporting that denial. They're not supporting, or even if they're not in denial and they say, yep, I know it, they acknowledge it's there, but I'm not going there. You're like, they're not supporting any escapism anymore from anything, any denial, any resistance. So what's happening is, and it's actually bringing up a lot of anger and frustration with people, and sadness and depression and stuff like that, because people have to face that. They have to look at that and face that, and they haven't been willing to their whole life. So it's really tricky, because yes, over the last 5-10 years, we've just been continually telling people that to do their inner work and this needs to happen, because it's just going to get worse and worse, and there's going to come a time where you're going to get hit with it all, all at once, and especially those deeper trauma wounds, and but the people that haven't listened and haven't done that work, they are going to find it really difficult, because no matter how much that you resist, just things, you're going to create so much trauma, and things are going to break down in your life. And I'm seeing this with people around me, the areas of their life, it's like their higher self spirit is just like, nah, you're not going to stop, you're not going to resist this anymore. You're like, no. And so it's like, imagine they're going to a door to help, and that door's getting slammed in their face, and then they'll go to this door and that one and that one and that one, and it's like spirits slamming all these doors in their faces, because they're running from healing themselves, they're running from looking at their trauma, they're running from accessing, through that, transmuting that and accessing their higher consciousness. And we are moving in to energies that are new earth energies, whether you want to call it new earth, whether you want to call it a higher consciousness, new age, the golden age, whatever. Not actually, when I say new age, I'm not actually connecting that with the new age spiritual community or anything like that, because that's a bit of a whole other ball game. But yeah, so you might be going through this yourself, and I'm seeing people around me go through this. Now, how it's affecting me and how it might be affecting you is that you might have already done a lot of your work, like I have, but it'll trigger parts in us where, say, if you've been a people pleaser or you want to jump in and help people, if people are just really, their life is complete chaos, and it's just one, in their words, one problem after another, because it's spirit trying to show them that that's not your higher path, it's not your soul choice, it's not your highest soul path. And on the other side of that, if you just let go of all that and just let it go and move out of that life you're living, that frequency, that job, that relationship, that business, that whatever it is, if you just step out of that, it's magical on the other side. Like it's better on the other side. Like it's, you can live this whole new abundant life on the other side. And but people don't see it like that. They just think, no, I want to do this, I want this, and their ego wants it. And what I'm seeing is that a lot of the choices that people are making to say they want it, or they might say, oh no, I think my soul's guiding me to this person, or I think my soul's guiding me to stay in this job, or whatever. What I'm finding is it's not their soul guiding them, it's their ego. Okay, they're masking. The ego's masking to make them feel like it's the soul choice, because if they don't say that, they actually have to face and work through that trauma, that I have to let go of that. And to let go of that, the reason they're holding on to those things in the first place is because, sorry, I just got a message and it distracted me. The reason they're holding on to that in the first place is because they're doing it out of a fear from a trauma that they won't face. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Every choice we make that is not from our, and I've done this many times too, that is not from our highest soul timeline. Okay, sometimes we think it's from our heart or in our soul, or we think that maybe spirit's directing us in that way. Okay, and mostly for me, I'll be honest, actually, I probably always knew when I was making the wrong choice. It wasn't really me telling myself, oh, this is my soul guiding me on this way. But a lot of people do. I'm around people that say, oh no, this is what my gut's telling me, this is what my soul's telling me. And I'm like, really? You think? Like, yes, I know. And I'm like, okay then, because I can read in the energy that it's absolutely coming from their ego. And what I'm saying is that they'll mask that and say it's what I want, it's what my soul choice is, because the other part, to actually go the other way, they don't want to do the work. It's too traumatic. And so, you know, and people say things like, oh my God, I can't do that because my life will fall apart and I can't do that right now and I need to be here. And what they don't realize is, no, your life needs to fall apart. Okay, the old one needs to fall apart for the new one to come in. And they just don't get it. And the reason why they're like, oh, my life will fall apart, is because they're not ready to let go of that toxicity, that whatever it is, whether it's the wrong job, wrong business, the wrong relationship, the wrong place that they're living, whatever it is, there's a fear underneath that. There's a fear that is connected to a trauma, that is connected to maybe unworthiness, that is connected to, people not wanting to fail, people not wanting, like, it's all about what people think, what people worrying about what people think. So whichever way it's connected, it comes back to a fear of why they make those choices in the first place and stay stuck there, right? So back to these energies. So these energies are, they're actually showing all of this up, and it's really coming to the surface, and people are doing their best to ignore it and doing their best to just, they know I don't want to go there. And so what's happening is, for you, if this could be you, or you could have people around you like this, but wherever we are, we're all going through some type of situation where we're having to make choices. So in terms of, maybe there's just people that you can't be around at the moment because they're going through that, and that's not right for you, okay? Because you're getting pulled back into it, sucked back into it. Maybe there's other situations, but you need to make the right choice for you at the moment, okay? Like, for me, all these things happen. Put it this way, if we're still in a place in our journey as well where we need to remove things, we need to learn lessons, well, Spirit is going to put those situations in our life, right, for us to see that and make the change. So make sure you do make the change, and just know that with these energies, what is not meant for us will fall away. And if you keep holding on to the resistance of that, like if you're holding on, then it's just going to be really, really hard and difficult for you moving forward. Because these energies, these new energies that are coming in, you can see the world around you, right, in the 3D collapsing. The whole matrix stuff's collapsing. I'm not going to get into all of that in this video, but we've known for a long time that the system has to start to collapse. And over the next 2 years to 2025, there is more chaos going to happen in the world. And if what we see in the external is going to get a lot worse. And I'm not going to be a negative Nancy here, but it is. It's happening because the matrix old world has to crumble, right, for the new to birth. So we're experiencing the death of the old, the death of the matrix, and we're bringing in the new, right? We're rebirthing. So it's the same within ourselves. Anything that's been attached to that old matrix energy, to the old, conditions, programmings, unworthiness, guilt, whatever it is we've had, because we're programmed in that since birth, right? So whatever we're still holding on to, trauma, fears, all sorts of stuff, limiting beliefs, programming, how we see things. And I was still holding on to, I've got to tell you, like some sort of limiting beliefs that I didn't realize I was, because I would go to do something different from the higher consciousness, and then all of a sudden, if I got distracted, the old defaulted in and I reacted or said something, or responded. I don't react in anger or anything like that anymore, but I responded differently. I.e., I can give you an example. I have set my boundaries and pull myself away from people pleasing and jumping in to be the Mrs. Fix-It girl. And then I noticed myself the other day with people around me. I was like sitting there and I was just lending an ear and letting them talk. But then that wasn't enough for me. I was like, oh, well, what about this? Or what about this? And what about that? And I was trying to fix it. And then my higher self said, you're doing it again. And I went, what? And I heard, you're doing it again. So I went, oh, I am. So I just pulled back, and I walked away. But then I ended up doing it the next day, and I got the same. You're doing it again. And then I actually did it today before I went off my day, and I just thought, oh my God, I am doing it again. So I then had to put some things in place to realize that, you can have so much in your world if you've done so much in your life at the moment, if you've done so much spiritual work and inner work and healing and clearing and transmuting and all of that, you can have done so much of that, but there still can be some pockets of blockages and energy and things in your field that you still react from something from your childhood. Okay, you'll default to that, and you might know about it, and you might have set a boundary there and all of that, but there could just be, maybe even it's certain people, maybe you've mastered that with most of the people in your life, but maybe it's just certain people that I don't know, that you just haven't mastered it with, and so you go to default to your old. So it's really precise at the moment too, I'm finding, with these energies in terms of that. So areas that you could even just not really stick to your boundaries, okay, and not realizing that you're not doing that, and you're jumping in and helping. And then what I'm finding is that when you're offering that, Spirit is setting up the situation with the person that is in so much sort of, I don't know, control or chaos or just, not like resistance to the help, that it's backfiring anyway. And then you leave feeling like, oh, well, why did I even bother wasting my time and wasting my energy and helping anyway? Pardon me, so I'm burping. So there's lots of things around it, but basically the result for all of it is, remember, we are merging so much of ourselves to the higher timeline, and the parts of our soul that have been fragmented are coming back, and it's up to us to recognize those parts that have been traumatized and heal those parts. Some of them will not even it'll feel like, oh, what's that? And that's that energy that you may have completely blocked, you completely pushed away, you resisted. You're going to have to go through and transmute that. A timeline is, I won't get into that now because we're nearly 18 minutes, but a timeline, as you know, we walk through the timelines and timelines. I'm a bit tired. We walk through the timelines of the trauma and things that have happened to us. So this is a time to really access the higher timelines, right? And overall, that's what I'm come on here to say, that to please not resisting anything coming up. There is people that are just so in their ego that are resisting stuff, and maybe you could just, you've tried enough and you just can't help that anymore. But if you're listening to this and you're one of those people, please, please, please stop saying, I can't do anything about it. No, it has to be this way. No, that's it. No, I can't go there. No. All of that, you stop and hear yourself, because all of that is such resistance. No, I'm scared to do that. Why are you scared to do that, right? So if you know that there is, some of these people they know that there's a higher timeline on the other side with much better things, amazing things, abundant things, miracles, whatever. But they still want to stay in this pocket. So why? If that is you, ask yourself why. And if you are, in the process of making the change, like if you have the awareness and you recognize it and you go, okay, I can't do this anymore. Which I have had that around me as well. I've had a few people say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to let go of it all, and whatever happens, happens. And I'm like, wow, that's fantastic. Great. Never thought you would do that, but that's great. I went through this year, like months and months back. There was some things that I didn't realize I was holding on to, out of a fear and trying to jump in and fix a situation that really never even had anything to do with me, but it did in a way. And so, you know, I've been through things. We're all going through things. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not sitting here talking as if I haven't gone through anything either. But yeah, so just really, really feel into these energies and make that change and stop being resistant to anything. And just really recognize that all these parts are coming back of ourselves, and we are the ones, we're the only ones that can transmute that, the trauma, everything, and move through to the higher consciousness. And the split has happened. Okay, have you felt the higher timeline? I've been feeling it for a few months now, but especially the last few weeks. Okay, we're ready to move into that higher timeline. I did a bit of a talk on Instagram about this the other day, about the split and the timelines. And you'll feel it. So if you want to stay in the lower, life's going to be really hard for you just moving forward, and so it's not worth it. It's best to make the change now, let go of everything, and know that your higher self is always guiding you to a better, always your soul's in the driver's seat now. When your soul is in the driver's seat, you can't go wrong. And I know people say it's easier said than done because they're attached to a fear. What if I've got to let go of this person? Oh, what if this person hates me if I do this? What if I hurt this person? What if I lose this person in my life? It's always about other people. So how about you? You know, it comes down, because if that happens, then again, what is meant for us will remain. Your soul is the guide. Your soul knows. So if that person is still meant to be in your life, well, that'll happen, or they'll come back around later, or whatever. You need to make the change now, okay, for you and for your sake. Okay, I could talk on this topic for so long, but I'm not going to, because I'm already at 21 minutes and I'm a little bit tired. So it's a beautiful day here today, but it's quite hot. So just I'm going to come back and probably talk a little bit more about the soul fragmented stuff and it merging together. And by the end of the year, it is, you know, November can be a easier month for those that have already done a lot of work the last few months. But if you resisted a lot, then November is going to be one of those months that it's just going to be hitting you in the face again and again, for you to release things, let go of control, release people in your life, make changes, all of that sort of stuff. Make big changes. Like I'm hearing big changes. I'm not talking about little changes, you know, I used to go to that yoga center and now I'm not going to. I'm talking like massive changes in relationships, with partners, with family, with friends, how your relationship to yourself, because as the relationship to yourself changes, it changes with everything in your life. So, okay guys, a beautiful white butterfly just flew over there. Take care, have a good weekend, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.